So we're designing a Pokeball here. So one of the first things we're gonna do is we're gonna try to make the Pokeball by making a sphere, and so you can see that right now. So we'll say this Pokeball is about diameter 2 inches. Now, the problem you see is that in an actual Pokeball, there's going to be a gap in the middle. But if you make the sphere, there's no gap, so we have a problem there. So see, there's two gaps between two sort of hemisphere type objects. That's why we can just forget the idea of making the sphere. And what we'll do now is we will click on, so we'll click on sketch and choose our plane. And now we'll sketch a circle, which will be a center diameter circle right in the center there. And we'll say it's about 2 inches. So you can just type 2 inches in. And now what we want to do is we want to make the object 3D. So we'll basically click on create, on extrude. So you can click on the object and we're going to pull it in the downward direction to make it easier for us to actually sketch on, which you'll see in a moment. So we'll pull it down about 1 inches. So it's kind of like a cylinder. So it's not the hemisphere shape just yet. So to get a hemisphere shape, we're gonna click on create and we're gonna modify and fillet, and we're gonna fillet the sides right there to 1 inch. And it kind of looks like half an egg, but on the top surface there we can actually sketch another object. So on that top surface, we're going to create the gap that we have in that Pokeball. And you'll see what I mean in a second. So once we choose the top of the surface by sketch, we'll click center diameter circle. We'll extend it to, I would say, 1.9 inches. So you can just type that in to make it easier for you. So you can see we kind of sketched it there. So what we want to do is we want to extrude it, make the object 3D now, that gap that we want. So you can change the view to make it easier to kind of get a better idea. So we can just pull it up 0.1 inches or 0.2. 0.1 looks better, so we'll stick with that. Now, see, if you just choose sides, it would kind of cut through the surface, so you just want to use one side. And we'll make that 0.15 inches. Perfect. Now, we're almost there on getting the general shape of the Pokeball, so the only part that's missing, as you can probably notice, is the top hemisphere. So we can just click on the top surface, and on that top surface, we can create another sketch of a circle, just like we did in our initial step. And in this, we'll make the diameter 2 inches, just like the original circle we made in the first step. And we can extrude that. So we have the circle that we sketched on top. So what we're going to do is we're going to pull it up and make it 3D. And that's done using the extrude option. So you want to make sure you actually select both circles, otherwise you'll get a shape like this, and that's not what we need. So just make sure you highlight everything. So you click on this circle and the side edge right there. Now you can just pull it up to the same 1 inches as the initial shape, or cylinder, you could call it, I guess. Now you can just click modify, fillet, and we can fillet those edges so it can look like a hemisphere. And it'll be 1 inch. Alright, there you go. So you have your two hemispheres and a gap in the middle, so it's starting to resemble the shape of a Pokeball. We can see in the Pokeball there was kind of a circle button type thing there, which you'll see right here. So we need to get that shape right there. So if you notice that when looking at the Pokeball, the buttons you can see the button from the front view of the Pokeball. That's something you want to keep in mind while you're sketching the actual cylinder type button on there. So what we'll do is we'll click on sketch, we'll click on circle and center diameter circle. This just gives us a better view by clicking the home button. So you can see there, so we'll click on the front plane. So we'll see it from there. Now you can actually sketch the actual circle on it, which we'll pull out in a bit. So you can give it a length of 0.6 inches, and that'll be the main button. So when you're rotating, you can see it's kind of in the middle there, so we want the button coming out. So what we'll do is we'll actually extrude the circle. So we'll just click on create, extrude, and we'll just pull it out. So one thing you want to notice is that when you're pulling it out, the program automatically thinks that you want to cut it, you want to cut a hole through it, but you don't. So what you do is on the right side, instead of cut, you'll change that to join. Once you click join, you can just click OK, and perfect, there you go. So you have your general shape of the Pokeball right there. You've got the two hemispheres, the kind of gap in the middle, and the button in the front. So now you want to kind of have another button type thing on that button, on that surface there, like as you saw in the Pokeball. So you can just zoom in and make another circle there like you did before. Now you can extrude that circle very slightly. So click on create, extrude, click on the circle, and you can very slightly, you can type it in to make it easier. And that's, you're getting your main shape of the Pokeball right there. So yeah, now the only thing pretty much left of the Pokeball is actually coloring it and rendering the object, and that's what we'll do right now. So we'll be coloring the Pokeball, and that's done through a function called appearance. So on the surface, you can right click and then you can click appearance. So you have all these options right here. Now these menu options have options for the material you want to choose, the color of the material, and there's many things that you can go through yourself about this, but that's pretty much the basics of it. So there's a leather and a cloth option, there's glass options, a lot of that stuff. So you can pretty much choose a material from here. I've chosen paint and I've just dragged, you just click on the picture and drag it on the surface. So I drag the red on it, I drag the white on it, and then I can drag the black for the black sides, or the black gap. So I just right click on that specific part so I can just highlight it. Because sometimes the program highlights the entire surface, and I don't want the entire surface to be black. I just want that side portion right there to be black. So I just drag it there, it's black, and I drag it around the button, and that portion becomes black as well. And there you have it. There's your Pokeball. Have the red, white, and black, and it's very similar to the actual cartoon Pokeball. See you guys in the next video.